Greetings, dear people of God at Trinity and beloved friends beyond. I offer this reflection on the Friday between Ash Wednesday and the first Sunday of Lent. Lent has officially begun. Recently, Nadia Bolz-Weber tweeted, "Sitting here trying to figure out why I've been almost falling asleep whenever I'm still, all day. Then I remembered. We're watching an evil assault in real time. The world is on fire, and there are too many disappointing human beings in power." After over a week of waves of nausea and exhaustion for me, after learning of the cancer diagnosis of 2 friends and the mental breakdown of another, on top of the news of increasing destruction and suffering in Ukraine, I have found myself asking, haven't we already entered the wilderness? Hasn't there been enough suffering? Aren't we all just too exhausted to observe Lent? That depends on how we approach it this holy season. Traditionally, Ash Wednesday has invited the church to follow Jesus into the wilderness, where he fasted and prayed and was visited and tempted by Satan before embarking on his public ministry. For many, Lent has become a time of giving up, as in chocolate or alcohol, or taking on, as in a daily walk or morning meditation. And fasting falls into the category of either an ancient practice of ascetics or a contemporary diet trend. So how might we approach this holy season? Exhausted, jaded, nauseated, and not just by cancer treatment. I want to share with you 2 beautiful answers full of grace that came to me this same week, as they do. In her timely new book, Good Enough, Kate Bowler agrees that fasting, quite frankly, freaks many of us out, and that fasting has always played a role in the Christian tradition. In fact, Jesus, she reminds us, says to his disciples, "When you fast, not if you fast, or consider trying a fast, when you fast." To Kate, fasting is simply a practice of giving something up. It doesn't have to be food. She says, when we let go, when we live with less, when we give up something dear, something quite lovely happens. Somehow we make a little more room for God to take up more space. And wherever God is, that's where we want to be. She reminds us that theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer argued that this letting go, this fasting, makes us who seek to follow Jesus freer, disciplined, and even, he says, cheerful. We make a little more room for God by letting go this Lent. In his incredibly moving Ash Wednesday meditation, Mike Kimman also invites us to let go. Specifically, he says, this day urges us to let go of our fear of death. We live in a culture that does not talk about death. Even the phrases we use try to soften it. We don't like to think of death because we know that our years, months, weeks, days, and hours are numbers. We do not know when that hour will be for us, and we fear that. So we try not to think about it. We prefer to live as if life will never end. That's why usually our reminders of life's brevity, coming in many forms, come when we least expect them and when we are least prepared. Except today, Mike says. Today, this one day out of the year, we wear a sign for ourselves and the world that life is short. And that is a gift, because it is life's limitation that gives life meaning. It is life's boundaries that make life precious. It is the scarce supply of years, months, weeks, days, and hours that make each one so incredibly valuable, so incredibly pregnant with possibility, so crucial to embrace. God became human in Jesus, Mike says, to remind us that human life is sanctified, that we are holy people, and every moment we live is a holy time. Jesus showed us by how he lived his life. Not only that how we live our lives is important, but that how we live our lives can be transformational. That the power of love to be present in each moment of our lives fills each moment with possibility, waiting to be embraced. This day reminds us that life is short, and that is nothing to be feared. Today we celebrate that life is short, and that means every moment matters. Every moment can be filled with infinite potential. Every moment is a new possibility for joy and love. Paul Coelho sings, "Life is short. Kiss slowly, laugh insanely, love truly, and forgive quickly." So, finally, Mike says, as we go from this reminder of life's brevity into the season of Lent, what if those were our Lenten disciplines? What if for the next 40 days we fast from the fear of death and embrace the shortness of life? What if we spend the next 40 days practicing for the Easter life that is already in each of us? What if this season of Lent we vow together to kiss slowly, laugh insanely, love truly, forgive quickly? Thank you, Paul Coelho, for these words. Thank you, Mike, for this meditation. Thank you all for joining me on this journey through a different Lent. Amen.